How are you doing? I hope you've been keeping well. I want to welcome you to your horoscope for the next 3 months. Now, Aries, remember that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology. So while you're listening to this reading, only take what resonates and leave the rest. So, Aries, I'm going to split your horoscope into opportunities and challenges. And I'm going to start with the challenges so we can end your horoscope on a high note. Okay, let's get into it. So, starting off with the month of December, we will have the planets Mars, Venus, and the Sun all entering and moving through the sign of Capricorn on respective days, of course. And while they're in the sign of Capricorn, they'll be forming a square aspect to either your Sun or your ascendant. Now, in astrology, squares represent challenging energies, situations, or outcomes. So this can manifest as situations that test your character, like having to compete or face your enemies. Perhaps you'll be defending yourself, or you'll be dealing with overbearing or overpowering people, conditions, or rules. I have to warn you, Aries, things may not go in your favor during this time. You're better off sharing those decisions, share the responsibilities, share the tasks, and maybe even let someone else take the lead during this time. Now, we both know how you feel about that, but I don't think it's going to kill you to concede or take the back seat. In fact, it might end up being more beneficial to you to learn from somebody else and let someone else take the reins for a little while. Also, I suggest that you be patient with people or outcomes during this time, because with these planets being in the sign of Capricorn, more especially your ruling planet Mars, I can tell you right now, there is nothing that's going to happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. The more you try to rush, the more frustrated you're going to get, and potentially you could cause things to fall apart instead of come together. All right, so that's December. Now moving into the month of January, Mercury is going to join the band of planets and enter the sign of Capricorn as well, also forming a square aspect to your sign. So with this energy, quick decisions are not favored, and neither is reactively trying to argue your point. You can, however, win arguments or make good decisions if you pause to think or ask questions or ask for guidance before you act. In fact, this energy can be quite beneficial to you if you blend some Capricorn into your vibe, like picking your battles, taking actions that have some sort of structure or organization to them, and taking tips from people who have more experience and more success than you. And the biggest one of all, Aries, is being patient and staying committed to the long game. Don't be in a rush for things to bear fruit and materialize. You need to be willing to play the long game. Another thing I want to bring your attention to in the month of January is the full moon that will be happening in the sign of Cancer. So it will also be forming a square aspect to your sign. Now, this can be a good thing because it could mark the end of a challenging situation, especially if you have like planets or angles around 13 degrees of any sign, but more especially the sign of Aries and Cancer. So you will have to take a look at your birth chart just to be sure. But other than that, the challenges that come with this energy could manifest as the bubbling up of challenging emotions that you need to face. Like you really can't hide from these Aries because this is the culmination, all right? This full moon is not going to hold back. So the potential experiences that may manifest could be some stressful, irritating, or frustrating situations going on in your home or involving your family members, and maybe even with significant women in your life. All right, so you're going to be triggered to address some of these emotional discomforts that you're having. And, with all these emotions flying around, you could find it difficult to be yourself, or you may find it difficult to take certain actions. All right. And that's okay. It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to just nurture what you're feeling or pay attention to what you're feeling. I mean, the energy is temporary. All right. But what I would advise is that you find a healthy outlet to get these emotions out. Do not suppress and do not hide anything. Okay, but you've got this. And I think I'm going to leave it there when it comes to your challenges. I don't see anything in particular for the month of February. So now we can get into your potential opportunities. Starting off with the month of December, there will be a full moon in the sign of Gemini. Now, in Gemini, the moon will form a sextile aspect to your sign, which presents you with an opportunity to process difficult emotions more positively, which can then lead to releasing things that have been weighing heavily on your heart for quite some time. Also, an opportunity to connect with people who can help you with a personal goal may present itself depending on what you've got going on. Then, as you move into the month of January, we've got 4 of the personal planets moving into the sign of Aquarius on respective days, of course, that being Venus, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars, all forming a sextile aspect to your sign whilst they are in Aquarius. This is like the astrology jackpot right here, so you definitely don't want to waste this energy, Aries. So, some of the opportunities that they may hold is that you may find yourself receiving answers to questions that you've had in mind for quite some time. There may be more networking opportunities or meeting people of like mind and interest around this time. There could be successful teamwork, collaborations, or maybe you're gaining more support or recognition for what you do or what you specialize in. You may also experience yourself having increased physical energy or increased physical attraction or attractiveness. You may be getting a lot of attention during this time. You're making good first impressions, and also some leadership opportunities may present, or perhaps you will be the one taking initiative. All right, so make this energy work for you, Aries. Make it count. And then in the month of February, we'll be experiencing a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. So this is like new moon energy, but with a strong touch of destiny added to it. So for those of you who have planets or angles at around 28 degrees of your sign, Aries, or 28 degrees of Aquarius and other zodiac signs too, but those two signs are the most activated. You may be experiencing potential changes or new beginnings involving your personal goals or actions that need taking. So you'll want to consider the planets that you have at that degree, 28 degrees. Look to what they're associated with. For example, if it's Venus, it's going to be transformative or destined changes or transformations or new beginnings involving relationships, maybe involving negotiations or contracts, maybe involving money. If you have Mars at 28 degrees, it could be about something that you are taking physical action towards. Maybe you're starting something, maybe it's something that you're engaging your physical body in, or you're taking the lead, or you're putting an end to something. So consider the planet that this eclipse is touching. All right, for the Aries rising especially, this eclipse could trigger a release of something that isn't going forward with you beyond this point. So that could be a friend, a group affiliation, a dream or something you once hoped for, or even something as simple as a social media page, right? Or maybe you're changing your name and your identity on social media. Like, it doesn't have to be a huge and drastic thing. It could also be on a small scale. So you want to pay attention to what is happening in your life around that time. But even if the ending is not instant, right? It's not like the eclipse happens and you immediately end something. You could be starting to see the cracks. You could be starting to see which one of those things are actually slowly coming to an end and leaving your life. All right. All right, Aries, I'm going to leave it there for now. That is the most significant astrology that I've picked up on for you. Thank you so much for listening. I would definitely appreciate a like or a comment if you resonated with any of this information or found it helpful. And if you would like to get in touch with me personally, my contact methods are listed in the description below. Keep well out there, and we'll catch up in 3 months. Hey Leo, how are you doing? How have you been? I'm genuinely asking, so you can go ahead and leave that response in the comment section, or we could just communicate telepathically. But I hope you have been well nonetheless, and I'd like to welcome you to your horoscope for the next 3 months. Now remember, Leo, the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology. So while you're listening to this horoscope, only take what resonates and leave the rest. And I'm going to split this reading into challenges and opportunities. And I want to start with the challenges so we can end the horoscope on a high note. So, with that said, let's get into your potential challenges. All right, so good news, Leo. I don't see any imminent threats to your happiness coming up in the month of December. However, this does exclude the aspects that the outer planets or the social planets could be making to your chart. So you may want to verify this by looking at your birth chart. But other than that, December looks all right for you. The challenges really kick off in the month of January, whereby the transiting inner planets or personal planets like Venus, Mercury, Mars, and the Sun will all be making an opposition aspect to your sign when they all enter the sign of Aquarius. Now, they will be entering Aquarius on different days, so keep that in mind. However, the opposition aspect in astrology can manifest as, a tug of war, feeling like you're being pulled in opposing directions. So that can manifest experiences of imbalance, right? Not knowing if you're coming or going. And that energy may pretty much characterize how January feels like for you. You may experience situations or events such as conflicts arising in your personal or professional relationships. Perhaps you're becoming aware of who is low key against you during this time. Maybe you may realize that somebody is actually an enemy and not an ally. You may also need to cooperate with others during this time, even though you'd rather do your own thing, Leo. But that might lead to a crash and burn. All right, you need to meet this energy somewhere in the middle, like do 50% of your thing and 50% of collaborating, 50% of meeting people halfway. That will actually fare much better for you. And also, there could be some relationship issues that you'd rather avoid, but that need addressing. All right, they might be triggered around this time. People may be bringing some uncomfortable conversations your way. Get it out of the way, Leo. And be receptive to what other people have to say. It might actually, help you realize a few things about yourself. You may also experience some creative blocks or an inability to take certain actions despite your desires or efforts. So you want to pick your battles with this energy. If you're doing something and it just feels like it's not going in the direction that you wanted to go, you're allowed to pause, come back to it later when the energy is more supportive. All right. Right now, honestly, the energy really favors you going along with what other people are suggesting. All right, it just might make life a little bit easier for you during this time. Also with, sharing your views or having opinions about something, it may also be better for you to just concede, all right? Take an L, allow somebody else to be right, even if you strongly believe that you are correct in your assumption or in your opinion. Allow the other person to, walk away with the victory. They will, as time goes, realize that they are wrong if they truly are wrong. Otherwise, it's going to be you who realizes that, in fact, you were the one that needed a change of perspective. Perhaps you were the one that was misinformed about something, or you didn't understand or see it the way other people see it. But you will see how that plays out. And then in the month of February, there is another opposition in store for you. All right. And this time it is the new moon. In fact, it is a solar eclipse. So that means that destiny is getting her pretty little hands all up in your business, Leo, more especially if you have planets or angles at 28 degrees of Leo or of Aquarius. But the new moon is happening in the sign of Aquarius. All right. So, this energy can manifest experiences of tense realizations or changes that'll be taking place within your relationships. You could be facing some shadow aspects of yourself that are triggered by the people that you have close relationships with. Or also just by you doing your own reflections on yourself and on how you have shown up within your relationship dynamics. This could also be a time where you are starting a new emotionally demanding relationship or journey of some sort, all right, that has a lot of growth in store for you. It really depends on the rest of your astrology, how this energy will play out. So, those are the challenges that I foresee and would like to give you a heads up about. I think now we can move on to your potential opportunities within this time frame. All right, so the month of December may come bearing beautiful gifts for you, Leo, as there will be a full moon in the sign of Gemini, and the sign of Gemini forms a sextile aspect to your sign. So, this full moon energy is great for you to express yourself, as you are more likely to make good impressions on others, and potentially you may even gain recognition of or support for what you're good at, or just simply for being yourself, to be honest, because I mean, hello, luminous Leo. And yeah, so that's your December. Okay, and then we're going to skip over the month of January because, well, you know how that goes, and get into the month of February. You can look forward to a full moon beaming in your sign. All right, there's going to be a full moon in the sign of Leo, which can bring energies of fruition, completion, and celebration to your doorstep. And that can look like maybe the achievement of a personal goal or some sort of personal growth for you, or perhaps you're being celebrated for your efforts, or how far you've come, and even on completing one of your life cycles. All right, that's also another possibility, that there could be a cycle that you've been living in, a repetitive situation. And right now, during this full moon, it is the end of that. All right, so consider what you may want to see ending, and it could be the end of that right now. All right, but it does depend on the rest of your astrology. So always, always, always consult that birth chart of yours. All right, Leo, your astrology is quite short, so I am going to leave it there. That is the most significant activity that I am seeing coming your way. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to reach out to me personally, the contact methods are listed in the description below. I would definitely love to hear from you. I would appreciate a like or a comment if you resonated with the information or you find it helpful in any way. Thank you once again for listening, and we will catch up in 3 months' time. Hey Sagittarius, how are you doing? How have you been? I'm genuinely asking, so you can leave that response in the comment section if you like. But nonetheless, I do hope that you've been keeping well. I'd like to welcome you to your horoscope for the next 3 months and to remind you that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology. So while you're listening to this horoscope, only take what resonates and leave the rest. And Sag, I'm going to split your horoscope into challenges and opportunities. And I'm going to start with the challenges so we can end this horoscope on a high note. Okay? Let's get into your potential challenges. So, starting off with the month of December, there will be a full moon in the sign of Gemini. So, this full moon will form an opposition aspect to your sign, either your sun or your ascendant. So, this can manifest the cropping up of emotionally demanding situations. Either something or someone is just rubbing you the wrong way. It could be something that they said, something that they did, or maybe you just simply don't vibe with their personality or you don't vibe with their mindset, the things that they think and say, right? So as a result, you may want to give them a piece of your mind because you're at your tipping point with this person or with the situation. Like you've had enough, right? But I have to warn you, Sag, you want to be careful with your delivery. Choose your words carefully because what you say can be used against you, more especially if that person is petty or they low-key don't like you. They're definitely gonna use this against you, maybe with other people in your lives. You know, they may try to gain sympathy or try to make it seem like you are the bad guy. All right, so be careful with the words that you choose to speak when addressing the situation or addressing the person. And also, this can be something that drains you. All right, if it's not a person, it might be a thing that just it's emotionally taxing. And right now, during the Gemini full moon, it may be the time for you to make a hard decision to either walk away from that situation entirely or maybe make an adjustment to the way that things currently are so that it's not weighing you down as it is at the present moment. Okay. So if you want to know if you are impacted by this full moon, you want to pull out your birth chart and look to see if you have any planets or angles at or around 13 degrees of Gemini or of your sign, Sagittarius. All right. Check to see if you have other planets or angles there because that'll also let you know what other areas may be affected by the energy of the full moon. If you want help with figuring that out, my contact methods are in the description, or you can leave your question in the comment section. And then moving on over to the month of February, you will have Venus and Mercury entering the sign of Pisces on respective days, and they will be forming a square aspect to your sign. So that energy can manifest tension in your relationships, particularly with family or with women, right? Significant women in your life. You could also be feeling extra sensitive around this time, Sag. Your insecurities may be flaring up, or you're just easily triggered by what other people are saying or doing. And as a result of that, you may kind of want to fall back, right, from socializing or having unnecessary conversations because miscommunications and misunderstandings are likely with this Mercury square energy and also in the sign of Pisces. So it may not actually be a bad idea for you to kind of go into a little bit of solitude or choose to say less around this time. This is a time of year when you're questioning your motives, you're questioning your position in life, and you're questioning how happy and fulfilled you are or are not. So, those are some of the challenges that I see you facing within these 3 months, Sagittarius. I feel like we can now move on into your potential opportunities within this time frame. Starting off with the month of December, there's going to be a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius, your sign. So this brings an atmosphere of fresh starts and a clean slate around you. All right. So you can use this energy to manifest or set intentions for something new that you wish to call into your life. And if you happen to have planets or angles around or at 28 degrees of your sign, Sagittarius, you may actually be experiencing the birth of something new around this time, or you could be gaining clarity over something that you've been in the dark about for quite some time. And also in the month of December, Mercury will be moving through your sign, forming a conjunction aspect to your sun or your ascendant. Remember that Mercury went retrograde in the earlier degrees of your sign. So if you have planets or angles in the early degrees of Sag, 0 to 6 degrees, then Mercury has been working you over, right? But this time around, as it's going direct, there could be some benefits that you are seeing. It could be that good things are happening for you right now. But nonetheless, while Mercury is in Sagittarius, this may be a good time for you to share your ideas with people. It's a good time for negotiating deals, especially if you're buying or selling. Consider that it is the month of December. It's the month of specials. It's the month of gift giving, gift receiving. So if you want to buy something nice for someone that you love, use those negotiation skills, right, to get like a lower price or to get some sort of a deal. It's actually going to work out in your favor, depending on who you are, depending on your astrology. And it's also a good time for you to network. You're likely to make a good impression on people. So if you have a business that you want to promote, or you do social media and you want to get your content out there, this is the time to do it while Mercury is in Sagittarius. And also, if you want to make important decisions, this would be a good time to do so, because you are the sign of wisdom, after all, and a higher perspective. So making decisions, especially about future outcomes or things for the future that have to do with your future, this would be the time to do it. But don't rush or force anything. All right. You want to apply your wisdom with this energy. And then moving on over to the month of January, you are going to be hitting the astrology jackpot, because all the transiting personal planets, that being Mars, Mercury, Venus, and the Sun, will at some point, respectively, enter the sign of Aquarius, and they will all form a sextile aspect to your sign. So in astrology, sextile equals opportunity. So you will definitely want to keep your ear to the streets that you frequent in order to catch yourself a little something. All right. For some of you, the opportunity may not knock on the door, right? Some of you are going to be receiving opportunity, receiving the call, receiving the connection, receiving the idea, whereas for others, it's going to be that you are the one who needs to create the opportunity. For example, you can do something that'll get you noticed, right? Like changing your style, or do something bold and unique, or sharing a crazy idea, or shooting your shot, all right? Whatever that means to you, you have a greater likelihood to strike gold if you actually put yourself out there during this time, no matter how weird or awkward you may think it is to do that particular thing. This energy kind of supports that activity. All right. It's Aquarius energy. So quirky is the way to go, and to not be shy about it. All right, but it is entirely up to you, Sag, and it also depends on what you've got going on in your life. And then in the month of February, you can look forward to the solar eclipse that'll also be happening in the sign of Aquarius. So once again, it's that sextile aspect, right? So you, Sag, you want to stay ready to pounce when this energy is activated. All this Aquarius activity is for you. It's in favor of you. So definitely be vigilant, all right? Keep your eyes and ears open. Opportunities may be swinging around all about you, and you really have the potential to catch something. Now, with the eclipse, because it has an energy of karma and destiny, it is more likely that you will catch something, especially if it is a fated something for you. So you definitely want to keep your eyes and your ears open. This eclipse might bring you a fated or a destined opportunity. All right, and it won't miss you because it's fate. If it was any other energy, I would say you need to do more of the work. But because this one it's more like a destined thing, for a lot of you, it is going to find you wherever you are. All right, you just need to be doing your part, whatever your part is. And on that note, this is where I'm going to end your horoscope, Sag. This is the most significant astrology that stands out for you to me. If you resonated or you find this information helpful, I would definitely appreciate a like or a comment. If you would like to get in touch with me personally, contact methods are listed in the description below. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch up in 3 months.